I'm Tristan, and this is Thinking About Politics. We back, baby. First of all, I should probably tell some folks, where I've been. My last video was a couple years ago now, and I got literally dozens of views on that one. Well, since then, a lot's happened, Oh, wait, I got a new job. Was focusing on that for a while. I started writing a column for my local newspaper at the Salem News. Not to mention, gone to a bunch of different No Kings rallies, Good Trouble protests. And so, I've been trying to stay involved. But this last year, I went and did something really fun. I went and ran for office. Yeah, I ran for local office in my city. And lost. But if I have one big takeaway from this video I hope you get, it's this. If someone like me can run for local office, someone like you probably can too. And if there's two things I hope you take from this, the second thing is this. Losing don't hurt. None of my bones broke. I didn't lose any blood. All in all, came out okay. And I said this a lot while I was out there on the campaign trail, and I meant it. That if the metric of winning and losing is me getting into office, then sure, I lost. But that wasn't really the point. The point I felt like for running was to try to build a coalition locally. To try to help organize people and try to make the changes that I think need to be made and that other people think need to be made too. Not to mention the fact that democracy has something like a 5-alarm fire right now, and we need to start pulling out all the stops we can to save this thing. You know the saying, when the going get tough, the tough get going? I always go with the Hunter S. Thompson version of that. When the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. So here's what I did, and I'll just explain it to you and obviously I did things wrong. You can probably do things better. But again, the important thing is you can do this. So I live in the city of Peabody. When I was running for office, I put together a couple of campaign videos. I described Peabody this way. It's a city of some 55 to 56,000 souls, about 30 miles north of Boston. It's got an industrial history. It was once known as the leather capital of the world. And for a long time, this led to a lot of good things like high union membership, quality infrastructure, stable neighborhoods, a real sense of community. And again, where I live in my city, there was a bunch of different offices that you could run for. There was library trustee. We have a thing called light commissioner because we have a municipal power plant. There's school committee members. There are ward city councilors that are just around a couple neighborhoods, and there are at-large city councilors that are around the whole city. And then, of course, there's the mayor. All things being equal, I figured that as a candidate for city councilor at large, I had a chance to run in the progressive lane and run a campaign that was really focused on fighting back against authoritarianism, but also sort of bread and butter affordability type stuff. And part of the reason I also decided to run for city councilor at large was the fact that we generally don't have a lot of turnover in the city councilor positions. We don't have a lot of turnover in most of our positions. Most of our races are uncontested in our city. And we're not an outlier. Nationally, a lot of municipal elections, they don't see a lot of participation, and a lot of the local offices that help run your city kind of go uncontested. And in Peabody, we have 5 city councilors at large. We had 5 incumbents that I thought were all going to be running. Little did I know, this race was going to blow up. We had 2 incumbents decide to step down and not seek re-election. And so in my race, we had 3 incumbents plus 6 other people trying to vie for these 5 seats. So I thought for sure this was going to be a good opportunity to get out there and try to talk about progressive issues. Well, I don't know. The big thing is this. I honestly don't have any real advice or any special insights into how to win elections. I did not win. Drink to that. But at least the running part, at least the getting in there and getting out there part, that seems to be easier. And I think we really get this weird view of elected office where we view it as we view it as being a celebrity for some reason. It's not. It really shouldn't be. It should probably be viewed like jury duty. Like a thing maybe nobody wants to do, but everybody understands that they got to take a turn. And maybe that's a way to approach, I don't know, your campaign if you're thinking about running for office. Maybe this isn't really about you being the savior of mankind or something like that. Maybe this is jury duty. Maybe this is a situation where you're just stepping up to put your name out there because, gosh, that's what this game requires. People need choices. When they don't have choices, what are they going to do but elect the same old people over and over and over again? And you can take this thing as seriously as you want, but at the end of the day, this can be as simple as looking at your local town, city, county. Look at what elected offices are out there, and look at what they do. Look at your city charters and your state laws. You know, these things aren't written in Greek. You can understand them. You're smart. Like, you're smart enough to find this video anyway. Next, you talk to your election official. If you're going for, again, city, county office, that's going to be your city or county official. Going for a statewide office, there's maybe somebody at the state, on the state side. The rules are going to be different depending on where you are, but the general principle is the same. There's somebody who has to keep track of the papers. You got to go get the nomination papers from them. And then there's a certain amount of people you got to get to sign your paperwork. And here's the thing. You got to go get those signatures. Whether that means knocking on doors or showing up at local party committee events or throwing a party at your house and just trying to get as many people as you can to sign, you got to get those signatures. And once you got them, you got to get yourself a voting list. Get it in Excel if you can. Start to figure out where you want to go. And again, you got to knock on the doors at the end of the day. One of the things that really hampered our campaign efforts was the fact that I am a public employee. I work for a government agency. And so there are rules against me asking for money or even taking money from people. And I think money in politics is necessarily a corrupting force. So I really was unable to ask for money. I didn't solicit a lot. You maybe can do that. I don't know what you do for a living. Maybe you can. And then it's a matter of just keeping track of your local campaign finance laws. Talking to, in Massachusetts, we have a state agency that takes care of that stuff. Maybe you have one where you live too. Check it out. But look, I'm like a nobody, right? I wrote some articles for the paper, but I'm not known around the community. In a few short months, I was able to knock on over 2,000 doors myself. Me alone. We printed up some yard signs. We printed up some pamphlets. By the time Election Day rolled around, we were able to eke out over 1,900 votes. We finished 7th in a race of 9 people. And everybody who finished ahead of me either held elected office before or had run for office before. So here's the next thing, and I don't know. I'm probably not the person to be giving this advice. But look, running for office is not some magical thing, okay? There's no velvet rope on this club. There's no reason you, my friend, cannot go out there and really stir up a ruckus. Running is a great way to put issues and ideas out there into the populace. There's a whole lot of your friends and neighbors who might not be thinking the same way as you. And this is your chance to really break out of the algorithms and break out of social media and break out of even just silly YouTube channels and to connect directly with people. You're going to be surprised at how many people agree with you out there. You're going to be surprised at how many new ideas people have to share with you. And you're going to be surprised how important these new connections can maybe feel. And dig this. Again, if the point was just to get into office, I'm disappointed I didn't win office. Sure. But running for office is not hard. 2, it's kind of fun. 3, I think it's one of these things that you just got to keep doing a couple times. You know what I mean? So wherever you're at, whatever you're thinking of, I hope if you're thinking about running for office and the thing that's holding you back is you think it's just impossible or it's just something real fancy pants people do, there is no reason to think that. We need regular people to feel empowered and to step up and not running for president, but we're talking about the real bread and butter of politics, the real work of running our government, our school boards, our city councils, commissions. I gotta believe that the era of spectator democracy is over. And we've all learned that sort of thing just isn't gonna fly if we want to stay free. So if you ever thought about running for office? Have you run for office? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you are in Peabody and you're interested in like running for office, feel free to reach out to me at Tristan at plan4peabody.com. Always happy to chat with people and help organize. I don't know. Maybe I'll make more videos. Who knows? I don't. Maybe. This is kind of fun. You've been great. Hope to see you again next time, but until then, keep thinking.